In 2025, if any of you are golfers, her average score, and this is over 9 holes, is 35.89. I shoot that in 2 holes. She does it in none. I try to get my money for it. She does it. She reached the second round in the CAF individuals and led the girls varsity team to second place, finished in CAF Division 2, and again was voted MVP for a second straight year for her team. So back early, keep back. Allison, I just have one question for you, and then we can let you go back to Stevie. Where you take his accolades to? You're a student this year. What college are you looking at?
To discuss stage just for
Well, congratulate Brighton and St. Yes. She's your next one. Okay.
Okay, next I'd like to have our first VP, Ed Tom, come up to introduce our special guest and winning court after that. Ed?
Good evening, City Club. We have a special guest for you tonight here. The last time we were lucky enough to have the Tournament of Roses president, it was 24 years ago. But tonight is our honor to have 2026 Tournament of Roses president, Mark Levins. Mark has volunteered with the Tournament of Roses since 1995, and he has held many activities with the Tournament of Roses. In his professional life, he has been with Nestle USA for over 30 years and has had many management positions there. Mark has graduated from McKenna College with a degree in economics, as well as an MBA from University of Vermont. But in addition to volunteering for Tournament of Roses, he has also been very active in the past with YMCA, AYSO, and he was also the president of the Optimist Club. We are very fortunate that Mark's here with his beautiful wife, Kay, and he has 3 grown children, and he lives in Pasadena. So without further ado, let's give a warm San Marino City Club welcome to Mark Levins. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Ed, for that warm welcome. It's great to be here tonight. Wow, 24 years. I feel honored to get invited back after 24 years. I'm not sure what the tournament did to not be here for all those years, but we're glad to be back. The real stars of the evening are Royal Court, and they kind of put me to shame. These young ladies are excellent speakers. But I'm going to share a little bit of information about this year's parade, this year's Rose Bowl game. So I stand between you and dinner, so I'll try to go rather quickly. So as many of you, it's also great to see a lot of familiar faces. There's a lot of tournament members here in the room and some other people that my wife Kay and I know through our activities here in the San Gabriel Valley. But there's a couple of things that tournament president gets to do without inviting commentary from either our staff or our one of our 31 operating committees. We pretty much run everything by committee of the tournament. And that is to come up with a grand marshal and to come up with the theme. And this year, the Rose Parade theme, for those of you that haven't heard it already, is the magic in teamwork. And this celebrates that when we as people work together and collaborate with others, we can achieve outcomes that are so much richer than we could ever achieve on our own. And with all this going on in our community since January 7th with the start of the Eden Fire, we felt like that theme was really appropriate this year. The teamwork that's been displayed in the San Gabriel Valley, helping out the fire victims, the response by our first responders. I see there's some San Marino law enforcement people in the audience. Thank you for being here. It's really been heartwarming to see the response for the Eaton Fire victim. And the Tournament of Roses is proud to be part of that. We've set up our own fund and helped. Of our 900 volunteers and 31 staff, we had 48 people in our tournament family that lost their home or lost their business. So this year, grade will pay tribute to the Eaton Fire survivors. You will see a float that pays tribute to them. You'll also see on our website, if you go to tournamentofroses.com, we're going to be putting up some of the stories about some of the organizations here in the San Gabriel Valley that are helping fire victims and fire survivors. We'll also be donating tickets to the folks from Altadena. There'll be a big block of tickets to the Rose Parade and the Rose Bowl game. And you'll also see my family will be riding on a fire truck to salute our first responders for Pasadena Fire. The other thing I get to do as president is come up with a grand marshal. And for those of you that saw our announcement a few weeks back, we were very fortunate to get Urban Magic Johnson to be our grand marshal. Urban is very excited. He grew up in Lansing, Michigan, with his 9 brothers and sisters, and woke up on New Year's Day and used to watch the Rose Parade in the morning and the Rose Bowl game in the afternoon. And he's very excited to be in the parade, looking forward to waving for 5.5 miles, and then joining us at the game to help with the coin flip and meet the captains from both of the universities playing in the game. We're also trying to get Urban to help us out. Maybe we can get a couple of Dodgers to join us in the parade. Keep your fingers crossed. Right. But if you talked about a grand marshal, we as presidents have to give a list. And the reason we chose Urban, a couple of things. One, I kind of failed the IQ test. With the theme being the magic and teamwork, it seemed obvious that to kick the guys whose nickname was Magic Johnson. But the second thing was right after the Eaton Fire, Urban was up in Pasadena as the Boys and Girls Club of Pasadena a few weeks later, helping meet some of the kids that had been displaced by the fire, playing basketball with them, and met their parents, met their families. And when we saw that he was up helping Pasadena and Altadena, we felt the right thing to do was ask him to be our Grand Marshal, and we're very excited to have him. So I'm looking forward to having him. Things are coming together for the 137th Rose Parade. I was asked to touch about our history. We've been around a long time. Those of you that are longtime residents of the San Gabriel Valley maybe know some of those numbers, but our first Rose Parade was in 1890, so we go way back. We will have 39 floats. We'll have 19 marching bands. One of the bands is over 600 members from Allen, Texas. If you can think about the logistics of getting 600 kids on an airplane, getting them to a hotel room, taking them to Disneyland, it's quite an undertaking. So that band we're looking forward to see. But a lot of our bands are 400 plus individuals, and it's really a tribute to those schools. My wife Kay and I had the honor this year. We go out and visit each of the bands in the parade and help them fundraise. And I'll tell you a little bit later about a trip that we took to Osaka, Japan to meet a special band from there. Anyway, we'll have 17 equestrian units, and we'll have some special entertainment in the parade as well. Following the parade, we will have the 112th Rose Bowl game. I said 137 parades and 112, so there's a 25-year differential between parades and games. We tried our first football game in 1902, and at halftime it was 49-0. Michigan was beating Stanford, and Stanford left in the fourth quarter, didn't finish the game. We could try football for a long time after that. We get chariot races, we get a few other things. But football came back about 25 years later. Football's been with us ever since. So we're looking for a great game. This year our game will be a college football playoff quarterfinal. And one of the big changes this year is our broadcast partner has been ESPN for the last dozen years. They televise 3 games on New Year's Day: the Fiesta Bowl on the West Coast at 10 a.m., our game at 2 p.m., and then they either broadcast the Sugar Bowl or the Orange Bowl at 6 p.m. Pacific. When you think about it, on the East Coast, that's if kicks off at 6 p.m. Pacific, it fits off at 9 o'clock East Coast time. They were losing a lot of their viewers on the fourth quarter when games went overtime and people were going to bed at midnight. So they asked us to move the kickoffs up. So all of our kickoff will now be at 1 p.m. Pacific instead of 2 p.m. Pacific, which may not seem like a big deal, but when you know Pasadena and you know how hard it is to get from Victory Park at the end of the parade at Pasadena High School over to the stadium, to get our Grand Marshal, to get our Rose Court, and to get the marching bands, most importantly, the two marching bands from the two universities have to play the national anthem. So we've got some logistics to work on this year. The other big change is after a dozen years of having an ESPN contract, this will be the final year of the Yearman of Roses relationship between the Big Ten universities and the Pac-12 universities. So our relationship with the Pac-12 conference, a lot of people thought it went away a couple of years ago when the Pac-12 kind of went through conference realignment. USC and UCLA and Oregon and Washington moved to the Big Ten. But we still have an agreement. In fact, last year, after January 1, 2025, we paid $44.8 million to the Pac-12 conference, which consisted of only two universities, Oregon State and Washington State. So those two universities did pretty well. We also paid $44.8 million to the Big Ten Conference, which they split among 18 teams, since 4 new Pac-12 teams moved into that conference. That, to give you a sense of how much the Tournament of Roses, that's due to our ESPN agreement. We have an agreement where we just pass through the money. That's not revenue that the Tournament of Roses makes. That's money that we donate to America's colleges and universities. That $44.8 million, we will make a similar contribution this year following this year's New Year's Day game. That'll be the last time. From now on, that television contract will be owned by the College Football Playoff. And the 6 bowl games that are part of the College Football Playoff, the Orange Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the Peach Bowl, the Rose Bowl, all of those bowls, those contracts will be owned by the College Football Playoff, and they're going to pass through the money to the conferences. But over the last 50 years, the Tournament of Roses, through that contract on the television rights, we've donated to the Big Ten Conference and the Pac-12 Conference in total $1.7 billion. To also give you a sense of what we do here in the San Gabriel with all of our partners is through our economic study that we did about a year ago, we totaled up that we generate in the San Gabriel Valley with all our 900 volunteers and our 30 professional staff, $245 billion a year in economic impact, generating over 2,000 jobs in the area. So we should all be really proud of the fact that here in the San Gabriel Valley, that we're able to put on these events. We are going through a tremendous amount of change due to the College Football Playoff, and we're reevaluating a lot of the things that the Tournament of Roses does. So that's why I'm sharing some of this information. But beyond the financial impact, let me also give you a sense of some of the impact on a personal level. When my wife and I went to visit these marching bands, we go into small towns like Clover, South Carolina, or Franklin, Tennessee, or Greendale, Wisconsin. And when we get there, these people tell us how important our New Year's Days events are, how important it is that their children come out here to Pasadena. And when we were in Osaka, Japan, just to share one personal story, we were in a gymnasium in a school in downtown Osaka, and there were 250 kids in this band performing. And at the end of the performance, the superintendent from that region of Japan took the microphone and stood up in front of all these kids and said, you need to think about what your trip to Pasadena means. When you're going to be on the streets of Pasadena, the families that will be lining that parade route have gone through a tremendous hardship. The fires took everything from these people, and your visit to Pasadena, you need to pay tribute to those families and to honor those families by your presence. So it's really heartwarming to hear that superintendent think about us. few minutes later, they turned around and presented my wife Kay and I with a $7,000 check that the kids had raised to help families here in Pasadena. So, really means a lot. So at closing, let me say again that on New Year's Day, our 900 volunteers and our 30 professional staff, working with all of our community partners. And when I say partners, I brought some of our theme posters this year that show all of our partners that help put the parade on. You can take one if you're interested. But it really does take a village to put on our events, and every organization that's been part of that is on that poster. But we'll show the resilience that our community has demonstrated over the months since the Eaton fire, and show the world what Pasadena and the St. Gabriel Valley could do and how we can put on America's New Year's celebration. So thank you for being here tonight. Thank you and for inviting the Tournament of Roses and our Rose Court to be here. And we look forward to talking with you afterwards.
Okay, Lord. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you guys are waiting for. And to introduce the Queen in court, we have the lead chaperone, David here.
Hello. Okay. Our princesses, our first princess is Princess Olivia.
Here, Vice President G. Angelino. So each princess is being escorted by a past president. Next will be Princess Keiko. As birthday friend. Next will be Princess Livia.
Yes, sir. Up closer first.
And next, Princess Myra. Have it my bed.
The next princess is Princess Sophia.
Press visiting to say. And Queen Sophia. Queen Serena.
And we're working on hiking K. He might be for block.
Literally huge.
All right, who's hungry?
I hope you're enjoying your dinner. Like to thank our caterer, Fresh Gourmet. Carlos, where are you? Thank you. It's delicious. Okay, at this time I'd like to make some introductions, starting with City Club past presidents. So, if you are a City Club past president, will you please stand? We keep standing. We have Eugene Sun, we have Jim Angelos, Al Bo, Kelly Ryan, Bill Pay, and who is also an honorary member. So thank you, past presidents. Next we have our current board of directors. Okay, so if you're this year's board of directors, will you please stand? All right. Then we have our first VP, Ed Tom, our second VP, Andrew Orty, Director of Membership, Nora Omos Hoyos, Mauricio in Communications, Kathy Johnson, Director of Arrangements, Hector in Membership, thank you. Albo, our Treasurer, Bruno Mendez, our Director of Communications, and am I missing anybody? Oh, myself, President, okay. All right, thank you. Okay, next we have the City Council. So, City Council, you please stand. We have Council Member John Chow. And myself, Council Member Hunter Chang. Okay, former mayors. How many former mayors do we have here? Will you please stand? We have Eugene Sun, Dr. Stephen Huang. Anyone else? Okay, thank you, former mayor. Okay, city officials. All right, we have our city manager. Please stand, city officials. Please stand. Our city manager, Philippe. Philippe, where are you? Huh? You have our fire chief, Mario Ueda. Our police chief, where did John Encontro? Okay, he's on the phone. All right. Answer your call. All right, we have Kathy Johnson, our director, community. Amber Shaw, director of public works. Eriko Rubius, also in community development. Isidro Figueroa, director, community development. All right, did I get everybody? Oh, Allison Walker, our city clerk. All right. Thank you. All right. Next, we have our school board. Do we have anyone from school board here today? They're at the meeting? Oh no. I thought their meetings always alternated with ours. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's who they are. Oh, yeah. No. Oh, we got school officials now. Okay, Mary Hazlitt, principal at Huntington Middle School. Anyone else studying the school districts? No. Okay. Moving on. Our fellow San Marino clubs. We have several from the Chinese club here. Will you please stand? All right, Sherry, Capri, Royal. Hey. All right. Thank you guys for coming. All right. How about from Rotary? Anybody from Rotary here? All right. Okay. Let's move on. Okay. So now, I don't believe Pete is here. So next year we turn 100 years old, and we formed a committee to plan out events for next year. And Pete Leffler and Dan Biles, who aren't here today, are chairing that up. So subcommittees have been formed. There's been having meetings, so we'll report more next time. All right. Okay, so now the moment you all been waiting for. Let's see. We'll have it, Tom, our first VP. Okay, or actually, so this is how we'll do it. Who wants to introduce? So what we like is the princess, the queen, to just come up individually and just give a little bit of biography about yourself, and then we'll go through all six who are here today, and then afterwards we'll have time for some Q&A. So does that sound good? All right. So who wants to go first? Okay. Why don't you all come up first? Yeah. All six of you.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Who want you? You want to go first? No? Okay, let's go. Let's do it. Okay. Yeah, so just introduce yourself and give us a little tell us a little about yourself. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Olivia Hargrove, and currently I'm a sophomore at Pasadena City College. I'm currently studying aerospace engineering, and I'm going to be transferring in the fall of 2026. So I'm doing all my applications just like all of our seniors here today. Last year, I went to UC Santa Cruz for my freshman year of college. I was an electrical engineering major there, and that is where I really found my true passion of aerospace engineering and decided that if I wanted to do aerospace engineering, I needed to transfer home to be able to do so. And that opened up this door of trying out for the Rose Court. So I'm very excited and proud that I did that because I would have met these wonderful young ladies. I also, while I was at UC Santa Cruz, I was a part of the UCSC rocketry team. And so every year we build a competition rocket for the IRAC competition, which is one of the world's largest collegiate competition for rockets. And last year we placed third for the first time ever. So that was a huge accomplishment. While I was also at UC Santa Cruz, I also ran cross country with the UCSC Cross Country Club. I spent a lot of my time exploring the beautiful trails and nature of UC Santa Cruz. I also was a part of a internship program called Cal Teach, is a math and science initiative to introduce students to the teaching field and to get you interested with the idea of becoming a teacher. While found out that teaching is not my deepest passion, I was so happy to be able to experience teaching a seventh grade math class for a semester. Now, looking at what I do now currently at Pasadena City College, although I'm new there, I've joined a couple programs. I've joined Alternate Girls, which is a program started after the Eaton fire to support teen girls recovering from the fires and trying to find a sense of community. So I've been spending a lot of my time volunteering with that. I've also just been a part of Caltech Motorsports, going to their meetings, getting interested, and it's a partnership with the California Institute of Technology to build a Formula race car. So if I'm not here with these girls, I'm either running around the Rose Bowl training for my half marathon in January, or I'm volunteering at some club on campus. So that's a little bit about what I do and what I'm passionate about. Looking ahead, I'm looking to transfer, like I said earlier, and I'm hoping to go to UC Berkeley, UCLA, UC Irvine, and I know there's some Stanford people here, so I hope the Bears win this week. I'm gonna pass the mic on to our next princess, Keiko Rakin.
Hello everyone, my name is Keiko Rakin, and fun fact, I'm actually the first girl from my school district and my school, Alhambra High School, to ever be on the Rose Corps. And a little bit about that, a couple years ago, I went to an event very similar to this with the Alhambra Chamber of Commerce, and that's the first time where I ever met the Rose Corps, and I was absolutely blown away by their grace, elegance, poise, and speaking ability. And I told my mom, this will be me in a couple years. However, Alhambra was not geographically eligible for the Rose Corps. So I decided to write a letter to the Tournament of Roses Association advocating to expand geographic eligibility. And that letter went all the way out to the president at the time, Edward Morales, and then back to me in a form of an email titled Rose Corps Eligibility Expanding. Bleh. Thank you. A little hint about me is that I am the Student Board of Education member in the Alhambra Unified School District. So it's amazing to hear that we have some educators in the room. And I represent over 14,000 students all the way from TK to continuation. I'm also the founder and CEO of my international literary arts nonprofit, Young Authors Alliance, which provides educational services and creative writing programs to youth in over 20 countries. In the future, I hope to pursue a double major in human rights and creative writing at the University of Chicago or Wellesley College, and then of my JD at Yale Law School studying international human rights and humanitarian law. My interest for human rights grew when I became an intern at the USC Shoah Foundation, and I examined clips and testimonies from genocide witnesses and survivors. And from that, I really learned how can we put humanity and human rights at the forefront of advocating for our most vulnerable communities, which is why I hope to become an international human rights lawyer, pairing my work with nonprofits to make the legal field accessible to communities who might not be able to financially afford it. I would also love to return back to creative writing to become an author and one day open a bookstore. Thank you so much for having us today. The food was delicious. I'm going to cast on through our beautiful princess, Lydia DePaula.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lydia DePaula, and I'm a senior at Temple City High School. Go Ratlets! My first introduction to the Rose Corps was actually sitting in my orthodontist's office waiting room. So I would see so many photos of all these beautiful girls in different colored dresses. But now that I'm a bit older, I would like to say I've been reintroduced to the Rose Corps last year. When last year's Rose Corps, the same ones who stood in this very room, were going around on tours trying to recruit girls for the new interview rounds. So I got to hear from Simone Ball from Arcadia, if any of you guys got to meet her. And I was so inspired by how confident she seemed in all her speaking ability. So that's why I decided to try out. Now at my school, I am AC president and varsity cheer captain. But an extracurricular I keep very close to my heart is English Learner Mentor. And what that is we take students who are recently immigrated to the US and don't know much English at all, and we help them learn. So I am Brazilian, so I know English and Portuguese, But through this program, I've been able to learn a little bit of Spanish so I can communicate with my mentor and teacher and exchange a little bit of English. Outside of school, I previously interned for Sasha Renee Perez's campaign for state senate. He won, by the way. And I also did some volunteer work at Kaiser Permanente West LA this past summer. That's where I discovered my passion for nursing as I was stationed on the nurses floor, and I'm currently pursuing being a nurse anesthetist. So right now, I'm applying to schools such as San Diego State, Cal State Fullerton, Mount St. Mary's, and UCLA, just to name a few. I'm so excited to be here with you all today, and thank you so much for having us. I love the desserters. Next up, I'd like to introduce our princess, Sophia Wren. Hi everyone, my name is Sophia Wren and I am a senior at Arcadia High School. I first want to say that the food was absolutely delicious. I was having a really great conversation with Miss Walker over there about prime rib and mac and cheese. And I'm so happy to say that I was actually able to try the mac and cheese today and it was very, very good. Also a bit about how I got introduced to the Rose Court. I grew up riding horses, so I always wanted to be a part of one of the many equestrian units that were on the parade. And unfortunately, I no longer ride horses as much as I used to, but I'm able to engage with the Rose Parade and the Rose Court in a completely different way by being on the court. So things ended up working out pretty well for me. And a bit about how I got here in the first place. I am pretty involved in some school activities and outside of school. At school, I am the captain of parliamentary debate for Arcadia High School, and I'm also the editor-in-chief of the Arcadia Quill, formerly known as the Powwow. And outside of school, I have been playing flute for over 10 years. So I hope to do that in the future, maybe as a flute performer, as a teacher, an educator, or maybe even as a music producer. And that is definitely something that I hope to do in the future, maybe at the University of Southern California or other schools similar to that, where I'll be able to engage further into production and other things. And again, I would like to say thank you so much to everyone for being here today. I am known as at least among the court as being the biggest foodie. So I've been looking forward to this event. I saw it was Thanksgiving dinner. So it's really, really excited to be here. And I made sure to keep a stomach for today. And that's really it. Thank you so much, and
Hi. I really, 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 really like what cheesecake actually has the slices. Don't tell anybody. So my name is Naira Wadley. I go to John Muir in High Skeena. And I discovered the Rose Court in a pretty interesting way. It was around Christmas time, and we were shopping at Macy's, my aunt and I, or gifts, but for some reason, and only it hurt. So let's see. Okay. And we stumbled across the Macy's Winter Fashion Show. And I saw these young girls. They were really young, not very tall, but, slim. So I was like, who are these girls? They got models, right? Aren't the... And my aunt, she was like, yes, this is the Rose Court. I was like, oh, so they are models. Okay. All right. But I asked my mom when I got home. I was like, Mom, what do I do to get on the Rose Court? She said, you need to do this, 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 and this. I did all of those business, and I mean, mom is always right. But one of those business, a couple of those, happened to be ASB treasurer at school, a leader for a girls empowerment group, and my favorite, school is sports medicine. So I discovered sports medicine by asking the football coach how to get to the games for free. He said, you need to be on the field actually doing something. So like, okay, I'll just do sports medicine. But I've learned that this was actually something that I really love, being able to care and nurture nurture people and help them when they're feeling a little down. It fueled my passion for caring, and Because of it, I would like to go to school for nursing, preferably at UC Irvine. They have a really good program. But I am aiming for see Santa Barbara. It's my favorite. I really like the campus. The ocean is calling me, like Mara was saying. I hope to go back to school for film because that is my first passion. And it is also the first thing I did to get on the Rose Corps. I used to enter in all these film competitions. So I would like to re explore that passion as well. And towards the end of my life, I would like to be a humanitarian and open up a center for the homeless to go and receive financial aid, real home cooked meals, good clothing, and goods that are good. Guys, I promise you guys, it's a real thing. I experienced homelessness this year because of the Ian fire, and I was given a lot of expired things. And I realized that these people deserve as much respect as people who have roofs over their heads deserve. And that is exactly what I would like to provide. Thank you so much, especially for the cheesecake. They're the best cheesecake I never had. I really enjoy toffee table, especially at my table. Gracias, advice, Lane. Now I would like to introduce my queen, Surrey.
Hi everyone, my name is Marino, and I'm currently a senior at Arcadia High School. I just want to start off by saying that we're all so honored to be here and to be here the year before the centennial celebration.
Yes.
And I had the opportunity to talk to some of you before we began sitting down and eating, and it was amazing to hear how many people have connections with the tournament or how the tournament has impacted them in some way. So it's amazing that we're able to be here and continue this partnership between the St. Gabriel City Club and the tournament. And so I just want to tell you a little about how I became involved in the tournament, and it was started by watching the parade from a young age. And so the parade has always meant a side of hope and prosperity to my family for the new year. So I knew that if I ever got the opportunity to, I would want to be a part of the parade as well and be that symbol for others. And so when it got time, I decided to try out for the Rose Court, and we ended up here, so can't complain. So I also want to talk about a little bit of the things that I think that helped me in my journey to the Rose Court. One of them would probably be volunteering at the local food bank, which is known as Foothill Unity Center. It is located in Monrovia. I'm also a student tutor for students with autism, and our goal is to basically change their educational trajectories to make sure that if they fall behind in school, we can help bring that foundation up and do what's best for them in their educational journey as well. And another one I'm involved in is research for mental health prevention. And mental health is an issue that faces you every single day. So through this research, we hope to find a way to help prevent the problem before it even arises. And another extracurricular activity I'm particularly involved in is congressional debate. And it's essentially a mock event where students pretend they're members of Congress and they decide to pass laws based on their merit to society or fail laws if they're bad for society. And this was kind of the extracurricular that kind of introduced me to my passion and what I want to do in the future, which is public policy. So I hope to go to college with an undergraduate degree in public policy. And after that, I hope to become a lawyer, which I talked to some of you about, and get a GED degree. And towards the end of my life, if I ever got the opportunity to, I also hope to become a judge. And two judges that I look up to in particular are Judge Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Judge Frank Caprio. And I believe that those are two people who uphold the law very well, and they put people at the center of their decision making. So that's the kind of judge I hope to one day become and continue their memory. I wanted to end my speech off with some thank yous and as well as on behalf of the Rose Court. First of all, thank you always to our committee and Mr. and Mrs. Levins for giving us this opportunity and bringing us to this moment in the first place. Second of all, thank you to the staff in the back for making this meal that all of the girls are reading about. And last but not least, thank you to the San Marino City Club for having us and listening to us today. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Queen and Court. How about another round of applause? So at this time, I'd like to open it up to Q&A, and if some of our youngsters here today would like to ask a question, we'll start with you. A question? No? You? Oh, we got one here. Give us your name and your grade.
Miss Lucy, I'm in second grade, and the question is, what's your favorite book?
What's your favorite book, Lucy, sir? All right, so start. Oh, yeah, you go first.
Hi, Lizzie. My favorite book is a dystopian novel called Sight by Neil Strishman, and I love it because it was the first time I ever read a story with a biracial character who looked like me and someone who fought in the pursuit of justice. But I also really, really love any fairy tale. My favorite is Princess and the Frog. So you know any of those princess stories, I love them as well. Yeah. Okay. Next up, pass love to Princess Olivia. Sorry. I remembered what my favorite book was, and it still is. I read it. I maybe I shouldn't admit this how often I read it, but Where the Wild Things Are. It's one of my favorites, and it brings me back to my childhood. It really just makes me feel like if any day is a bad day, I just go back and read it. I'm like, wow, I'm 5 years old again. It's perfect.
My old favorite books used to be the Hunger Games series, all 5. But right now, it's The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Yay. So my favorite book growing up was this picture book called No David. It is so funny to me because my parents use it as a signal what not to do. And it was exactly mirroring everything my older brother did. So I saw David in my older brother, and it was just really funny, and I love the book a lot.
That is so funny. I saw that in my brother too. It must be a brother thing. When I was younger, I actually really loved, I have to say, if you give a pig a pancake. Because pancakes are my second favorite. Sure, cheesecake's best. The only cheesecake is my fit. But it's either that, and then when I got older, I read this story. I tend to read a lot of, you know, not popular books. And it's called Rump, the true story of Rumpelstiltskin. It was so, you guys read it? Oh, okay, yeah. It was really cool. It was my favorite one. Wow.
So Naira actually took a little of my idea. I was gonna say, if you give a mouse a cookie, because it gave me a lot more ideas of how to torment my parents. But if I had a second option, I would probably say Charlotte's Way.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? There's somebody with. Yes, I believe one person is missing.
Yes, this. Put it. Your juice.
I'll do a little quick imaginary introduction of my friend Ria. So Princess Ria cannot be here tonight, but she is a freshman at the California Institute of Technology. She is studying mechanical engineering currently, and she is involved in so many things. I think she's a part of the Embassy Council. Yeah, it's international, yes. And she's also she did NASA research in high school, so she's the person I go to about any of my questions regarding that. But she sadly cannot be here. And what else? She's doing fire research. Oh yes, yes. Ria also has been doing fire research, and she works on the Eden fire to prevent things like this from happening in the future. She is super cool, and she built a rocket.
She built a robotic couch. Oh, it goes at 1 mile per hour right now. So if you stroll around Size, you might see a couch. That's Ria's. She also loves making matcha. Yeah. Yes. So if you know any NASA friends, please let us know. We'd love to let her know that we met you guys.
Oh yeah. She really, really, really likes matcha. So she said in case anybody has any recommendations to come to one of us, and because we are, I guess, first looks people around. All right.
And another thing to add is that she's actually a history maker on this court because she's the first girl ever from Caltech to ever become a part of the Rose.
Wow. Sweet. Great. All right. Any other questions? Sophia? Oh. It's okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. We have little gift for each of you that our first VP will pass out.
They can get some matcha from him. Oh, please. Then
Oh,
Thank you so much.
someone want to give Rhea
Yep.
first? Someone have us? Okay. Yes.
Maybe I'll get perfect.
Okay. Thank you all so much again. And as my term as president comes to a close, today's my last dinner meeting. Oh, that's thank you for that. Just like to thank all of you for your support this year. Very excited for our club next year. Our membership has increased this year and well into double digits. First of all, I'd like to thank extra the outgoing board members from this year who are here. Our treasurer is outgoing. Oh, this is Dave. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. We also have our director of communications, Nonel Bruno Mendez, director Nora Hoyos for membership, Kathy Johnson, director of arrangements, Linda Gutierrez, who couldn't be here tonight for social, and then our media past president, Brie Leffler. I have faith next year because we have a great board, 2026. If you are on the board for next year, will you please stand? Okay. So, we have president to be Ed Tom, first VP to be Ed Urardi, second VP to be Linda, who couldn't be here. We have to be treasurer Harry Marr. Yay. Director of communication will be Mauricio Olmos. Arrangements will be Director Julie Fong, who I think left earlier. Director of socials Robert Tam. And Shreya Boy, Dr. Shreya Boy, yay. And okay, and I'll be the media past president. All right. And oh yeah, sorry. Johnny Cottrell. Are you back? John? He's still on his phone call? Okay. All right, yeah. So Johnny Cottrell over here, secretaries. Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Okay, and if you a reminder to renew your membership, we are running an early bird special at $265. So renew now before the end of the year, save $35, and we have great dinner meetings. Of course, this is one of them, as you can see. So please remember to renew your membership, and please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, San Marino City Club. And other than that, we will see you next year. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, course, President Levins. Thank you all. And could this year's board come up and we'll take a picture with the court? And also, we have some pictures too. So if anybody wants a picture, yes, Jen, hold on. Yeah, we'll send a picture. We'll take a picture here that they have some pictures that they can sign, so we'll do that after too. All right. Okay, so this year's board, will you please come up? This year's board of directors. Thank you. Do you want a picture? Stick around.